pursuit on the wire. Mongolian win takes the 72nd running of the Manitoba Derby. And welcome back to Saturday's edition, ASD Live Breeders' Cup. 9 races on tap from Keeneland. The older horses, we're going to get to see all those beauties go throughout the afternoon. But let's start it off as Stretch wants to be a weatherman. Stretch, what's going to be the weather?
Yes, so this is important to pay attention here.
What?
We've got, I've still got some cash.
Yeah.
So,
well, I look like I'm crying.
Yeah. Now it says rain up there, which is true. The rain's starting around 2 o'clock apparently. So some of the races will be run basically on a fast track. There's also supposed to be a lot of wind as well. So obviously this is a couple-day forecast ahead. Take a look to see how the turf is going to be playing, because that is a big difference. Some of the horses like the soft and some don't. And so you may want to take note, adjust. Just because you have winners right now or you have your bets right now, you have to be able to adjust. So just kind of, other than the forecast, it is day 2. You've already going to be able to see the races yesterday. And if you did not watch the races on Friday and you're starting on Saturday, you may want to do a quick kind of recap. Won't take long. I think today there's at least 2 big favorites in here and then a couple other favorites around $4 or $5. And I know many people say, oh, I don't bet favorites. Well, favorites do win. So you can still tie it in sequence bets or tries. Kirt's very good at having the favorite on top, even though he likes his long shots, gets a real good try or an exactor in there. And with so much money today on the Saturday, watch out. So don't just be a long shot player. Be able to adjust. You also even have to adjust your normal bets on how you bet. Like you do maybe at ASD or some of the other tracks you play. There is just so much money out there. Really take advantage. Be ready to adjust and go from there.
Well, that big ticket that I did cash, I took 2 horses in the first leg, got a $34 horse in Whitmore. I hit the all button. I got a 50 to 1 shot, and then I keyed a favorite, $4 Monomoy Girl in the third leg, and that got $1,500 for 60 cents. So you can throw favorites in there and still make money. So don't worry about that. We're going to try and get a couple of them beat, hopefully. But I do have them keyed on certain tickets. But let's kick off the card. We got the filly and mare sprint going 7 furlongs. Last year's winner, CC, was 6 to 1 and did beat Gamine. That speedy mare. But who do you like in here, Stretch?
Well, yeah, good race to kick off of the Saturday Breeders. That's why I can ease into it. I think there's many contenders in here. Agree with Kirt's picks. I don't think there's any standouts in here whatsoever. I think it's going to be who gets the trip, because I think there's so many that are so equal and it just gets that right trip. We'll see how the track is being played. I did land on the 8 in here. 3 for 3 at the distance. Seems to get better with each start in here. Last time I had a slight bump, and it really didn't seem to bother this horse, which so I really do like. It does say a bigger bump. I disagree with that. I do like, yes, it's been on a layoff, but steady works every 7 days since that last race. So that's really good to see. We're going to go to the 11 Wicked Halo. I'm nailing these horses today on the names.
Yeah, look at that.
It's a new day after yesterday. All right. So this horse won 2 weeks ago, same distance, 2 out of 3 at the distance, kind of the same running style as Olivia or Olive. I knew I should have just stuck with that. I think Olivia is Olive.
We can go with Olivia.
Let's go Olivia.
Just Olivia, the 8.
The 8. Yeah, back to the 8. Yes, I think that the 8 is a little bit better than the 11, but you never know. The pace battle could cost it. Could get that nice trip, and then you're going to get a real good price. Morning line 10 to 1, so you don't want to leave that one out. And then back to the 7 horse. Yeah, the 7 horse had a bunch of trouble. Was a little too far back. Needs to be closer. Clean trip. 8 to 1 is the fair value. I'm just unsure if the 7 could beat the 8. That's how good I do think the 8 is. But.
Yeah, I agree with you, Stretch. I do like Goodnight Olive in here. The horse has only lost one race, and that was the first start of the lifetime. Since then, unblemished through there. But obligatory, the 7 horse had that little bit of a rough trip last time out, but the speed carried on. The closers weren't able to get there, was too far back, but there is pace in this race. I see 5 horses that can go towards the front end. I'm expecting at least a 3-horse duel up front, but could be more than that. And so that'll set up better for obligatory. Goodnight Olive will be sitting right in behind those, and then obligatory about 3 more, maybe 4 lengths behind them. But this horse does have a great late kick. I like that it won 3 outs ago, 10 lengths off of it, rallied down, then sat a little bit too close, couldn't get by Bella Sophia, who is a dynamite sprinter, and then came back and was beaten by Goodnight Olive, but was too far back in there with the pace carrying on. So I think obligatory. I love the price at 8-1, the early morning line. So it on top, Goodnight Olive for second. And I do like Frank's Rocket also. Here's a horse that's going to have about the same type of trip as Goodnight Olive. Doesn't really want to be on the front end, but is always in contention. What a win last time out with the greatest of ease, drawing off to win by 6 lengths. The previous start against Kamari was a good one in the grade 2, but just couldn't get there. Trip is everything in this race. This horse will get one. So that's why I'm going to give you 7, 8, and 5. Now we're going to carry on to race number 4. It's the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint, going 5.5 furlongs. This race won by Golden Pal, wire to wire last year at 5-2. And we got 4 girls in the field.
Yeah, 4 girls, 10 boys, 14 going 5.5. So lots going to be happening. You can expect some bad trips in there, maybe even a horse that's a bad trip that, looking back, could have won the race. I'm gonna land on the horse that Kirt just mentioned, the winner of last time. Will be the fave. We'll see how big the horse is. 7 for 7 at the distance, 4 for 4 at Keeneland. Can sit just off the pace. There's potential some other speed in here, but I think this horse can just get an absolute great trip. I thought the last race was a prep. I thought the horse didn't look top notch. I just think that prep is going to set this horse up nicely. So I couldn't try and beat him just because I didn't have enough strong angles, and I don't want to just take another horse just for the sake of taking the horse to beat. I know Kurt's got some reasons on his, and that's great. It's always good if you've got reasons to take a shot. I am landing on the 14. You're thinking, heck, how could I take that? On the outside, 30-1. Key here is I don't think the horse can win, but I think the horse could be second, third, or even fourth, and that's going to make a big deal. Payout with potentially a favorite winning. I like that running style. Couldn't get the lead and didn't lose lengths to Golden Pal in the stretch, really. So then I've got to use that one. And then the last one is the 7. Arrest Me Red, another long shot to make it pay in there. 3 for 3 at the distance. I think the horse can sit just off. And at 15-1 with a late close, why not? Kurt, the Euros do have some shots, but just for me, it's just a bit of a guess, so I couldn't back one strong enough to put that in there.
Yeah, I watched a lot of replays on the Euros in here because I tried to get Golden Pal beat. Yes, it did win the race last year. Yes, it comes in with good speed, but it can show stalking ability as it did 2 outs ago. But I'm just not sold on the 5.5 furlongs. I think there's just going to be a cluster sitting near the front end here. And one of the horses I do like is a mare against the boys. That's number 6, Highfield Princess. Wow, what an impressive winner in a 19-horse field last time out. Sat there without even making a move and drew off easily to win by 3. It was a similar effort in the previous start against Platinum Queen. And the horse, again, was absolutely impressive. Going out early speed without even being coaxed at all and drawing off to victory. I think I'm not big on taking mares against the boys, but if you're watching any of the races from overseas, you see some of the mares are absolutely dynamite, and they beat up on the boys all the time. So I'm going to do a little flip here, and I'm going to take Highfield Princess on top. I am going to take Golden Pal in second. I think Golden Pal is the one to beat in here. So it's going to be in your top three. It's just where is it going to be? And number one, Creative Force. Here's a horse that ran against Kinross, which was a real tough one. Was beaten a couple times by Naval Crown, but this horse ran some really good races in there. And I like that they were tactical races, waiting off the pace, got there easy, and then just couldn't get up. Draws the inside in here, a valuable draw, and I think just could get a really nice trip. So that's why I'm giving you 6, 8, and 1. Now we're going to carry on to race number 5, and that's going to be the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. Last year's winner, Life is Good, wired the field at 4 to 5 odds. Stretch, who do you like?
Yeah, wide open race. Here's something that favorites don't really dominate on this race. Just kind of looking back on many of these horses in here about trends that work, that have been winning. Many of these lower prices horses that are in the race today don't really have strong trends to say that coming into the race the different things. So I think there's potentially an upset here. I really don't have a strong opinion. I've actually included both of Kurt's top picks in my pick 3 and pick 4. So I'll go with the 6 as my top selection. Off a couple months, but a steady work similar to that other selection. Getting 9 to 2, I think that's going to be about fair value for him there, and so won't sit very far off the pace, and does basically right there for 2 for 2 at the distance as well. You could say the most likely winner would be the 7, but like I said, favorites don't really win this race, and yes, 5 for 5 at the at a mile. Right running style. It's just proven past trends. The favorite doesn't win. I've got to use the horse again, a horse that I'm not making a horse bet to win. And then I'll go to I need a long shot somewhere, and why not? I could have fun if the one's in front. I'll say slow down, Andy, but really meaning to speed up, and that's the one I think should sit close to the pace. At a bad start and still ran nice in an even race last time. So if the rail is the place to be, watch out. And there you were going to see some trends. Kirt made a good point on one race he selected. Notice that the rail wasn't the place to be, on the outside was. That could be the case. If we watch the early races and the rail is not, then don't Andy will be slow. So 6, 7, 1.
Yeah, myself, I do like a horse in here. I like number 5, Goodnight. It's a 3-year-old tackling some older company in here. But this horse ran absolutely dynamite the last 2 starts. And what I like is the horse was able to rate just in behind the speed, which I think is going to be Pipeline, who ended up duking it out with Jackie's Warrior. So if that horse does get a loose lead, I don't think the fractions will be suicide fractions. So I think speed will carry. So what I want is a horse to sit right in behind that, and Goodnight fits the bill to a T. Both those wins, the horse ran for a 16th of a mile, and it was the last 16th. The horse did all the work. The jockey just finished up on it in those 16th of a mile, but was impressive each and every time. And with that lack of early speed that's going to set up, I think this horse is just going to get an absolute dream trip, and that's why I made it my top play. I also like the 3 horse in here, and that is Pipeline, because this is a horse that could steal it. There is no Jackie's Warrior in here to go battle on the front end. So for once, this horse might see the front end all alone. And the last time the horse did that, drew off to win by an easy 9 lengths. Yes, it was only an allowance race, but I think the horse will get really brave if it does get loose all alone. So that's why he's my second play. And Cody's Wish ran great, beating Jackie's Warrior last time out. Rallied from the back of the field when Pipeline, Jackie's Warrior battled on the front end, but looked absolutely dynamite going on by and taking that win. So I'm going to give you 5, 3, and 7. Now we're going to carry on to race number 6. It's the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf. They're going to go 1 mile and 3/16. Last year's winner, the Japan horse, Loves Only You at 4 to 1. And I like this horse a lot last year. Stretch, what do you like?
Okay, let's go with the stat of the day. 70% of the Euros that finished in the top 2 of their last 3 starts hit the board. So both 3 and 4 actually fit the bill in here. So that's why I've gone to my selection. I do think 3, 4, and 11 are the horses that can win it, but let's start with the highest price because that's what you need because it's always, these are so tough and competitive. Let's land on the 4. I think the horse should get a great trip. I watched the last race. I think the cutback is going to help. That slight cutback is going to make a bit of a difference in there. And so I think this horse can time it right and make that late close. And then 3 could have been easily my top selection. Actually fits every trend 100% on horses that have won in those past. Real good horse to use. I think this horse can actually be, it was rated in that last race and just got tired late. I think the horse can easily be rated again, get the jump on the closers and go from there. Careful on this, not a soft surface. So that's one of those. And then we know who's probably going to be on the lead, and that's the 11. It's just a matter of how much pressure this horse gets. If this horse gets loose and they probably don't beat her, she's going to get a breather. We'll just have to see how far she can keep going. And so let's go 3, 4, and 11.
Yeah, Stretch.
Sorry.
I'm
4, 3, 11.
But you know it's going to come 3, 4, 11. If so, because I have the 3 in first. I really like Nashua. What I like about it is 2 outs ago, this horse sat dead last in the field and circled him, easily drawing off to win by many, as the horse won by almost 2 lengths. But then the last time, as Stretch said, the horse went to the front and was comfortable there and ended up getting run down in the end by a long shot, a 28-1 shot. But Nashua, I don't think is going to the front here. I think it's going to be a more an off the pace effort. I don't expect it to be at the back of the field like it was 2 outs ago, but I expect it to be in the mix, probably sitting in the top 5 horses. And this horse does have a really nice kick down the lane, has tested some of the best ones on the other side of the pond. So I give it the top selection. I also like number 4, Above the Curve. They finished in a photo last time out, the 3 and 4, and the 3 ended up getting the nod as the second place finisher. Above the Curve was 3rd, but this horse was coming in with 3 wins out of the last 4 starts, but showed a good closing effort. I am looking for a mid-pack stalker in here compared to one way off the pace, because there won't be a lot of pace in here. There will be a little bit, but not a lot. So Above the Curve fits the bill in second. And I took a shot. I didn't take in Italian, who should be the loose speed. I went to Virginia Joy. Here's a horse that 4 outs ago won by 14 in a grade 2, came back, ran another good race, only beaten a length, again, beaten a length. And then won its last start going wire to wire. What I like is it's going to probably sit right behind in Italian. And the horse has won at the distance already, always a bonus. And I like a forward horse, so I'm giving you 3, 4, and 10. Now we're going to carry on to race number 7. It's the Breeders' Cup Sprint. They're going to go 6 furlongs. Last year, Jackie's Warrior got beat, ran about for a quarter of a mile, and Aloha West and Dr. Cheval, they put on a display. Dr. Cheval should have won that, but Aloha West did win that at 11-1 as Dr. Cheval moved way too early and got caught. But Stretch, who do you like?
Let it go.
Do I seem a little bitter?
Let it go.
I'm a little bitter.
Okay. All right. Normally there's so much speed in here, and the early fractions are like 21 flat and or maybe 21 and 1 or 21 and 2. I think today could go, or on Saturday, 21 and 4, maybe even 22. I just don't think there's a huge amount of speed in here. So when you're kind of on paper the best horse and you're the controlling speed, 4 or 5, and that's the 9, 4 or 5 at the distance, cut back from 7 furlong only helps. I guess if somebody sacrifices, this horse can sit just off the pace. So for me, it looks super tough to beat on paper, but we notice paper doesn't win the races, so you got to be careful. I will say that the 6 horse is getting better and better with each start. We're not sure how fast this horse can go, meaning, or how final time, because the last 2 races, the horse has basically not even been asked morning workouts on there. The horse is going to sit just off, make that move. It was so good to see, just to kind of attest the shake of the reins and made the move, kind of a push button, and then geared down. Plenty in the tank. And for me, it's those 2. probably the 9, then the 6, and it becomes, for me, wide open. So let's go for a late closer, and that's the 5. 4 or 5 in the money, 2 for 2 in the money at Keeneland. Don't think the horse can win, but I think can help make the trifecta pay. So let's go 9, 6, and 5.
Yeah, I'm with you, Stretch. Probably 3 to 5 on Jackie's Warrior. But I look for speed. I see Super Ocho has a little bit of speed, the 7 horse. But besides that, there really isn't a lot. And because Jackie's Warrior got beat last year, a couple horses sacrificed. They said, okay, let's really make Jackie run today. They did. And it's set up for the closers to come. But I just don't see that happening today. So I see Jackie's Warrior getting a loose lead, probably by 2 lengths early. And I think just coast to victory. I also like a long shot, number 4, American Theorem. Here's a horse that last time out ran second at Del Mar after coming off a win. But what I like about this, 2 outs ago, that win was sprinting. And the horse wasn't too far away and ended up drawing off, made a power move to grab the lead and then just throttled down to win by a length and a quarter. Has a couple other good races in the same style fashion early on, but they've been running this horse at routes every single time. I think this horse is a really good sprinter and will show a lot today. So that's my underneath horse of Jackie's Warrior, the 4, and Aloha West, the winner last year, has been coming with a late run each and every time. Got the job done last time out as the favorite. Was beaten by Flightline 2 outs ago, but everybody else has 2, and was beaten by Jackie's Warrior 3 outs ago. So has been beaten by a couple of monsters. Throw the monsters out. Aloha West, big top 3 player. But also watch out for Kamare is my honorable mention. Another mare running against the boys. She runs each and every time. 2 for 2 at the distance. 2 for 3 at the racetrack in the win column. So that's my 4th selection. But I'm going to give you 9, 4, and 5. Okay, on to race number 8, the Breeders' Cup Mile. They're going to take a mile on the turf. Space Blues, another one that you liked and I liked last year. 2 to 1 favorites, a Euro. Stretch, who do you like?
Okay, let's start with, if you're thinking of taking a horse that you think will be on the lead, maybe think again. The last horse that went 8 to wire was 1992 Lure. That horse was an absolute superstar. So you may want to avoid the early pace horses, especially at Keeneland there. This one, this is the 1 Euro I really can trust quite a bit in here, and is easily my top Euro selection on the card. I know what to expect on this horse. I think 7 to 2 is a steal of a price, actually. We get anywhere near the $9 or $8. Should be really good.
I don't see that happening. 7 to 2. Modern Games, that race last year was so lights out good. And even that race at Woodbine, that was an absolute workout, winning easily by 5. And then went on back to Ascot, ran that second. And that was a great race in that 9-horse field. This horse really hasn't run a bad race.
No, it hasn't. So what do you think would be the price you can expect on this one?
I'm thinking maybe you're going to get a little over 3 to 2.
Okay, that's fair. And
little over.
That's fine, and that's a good point. So that's something you may want to write down. Kurt's very good on kind of figuring out the odds. So under 3 to 2 is no value. Over 3 to 2 is on the cusp. 5 to 2 is probably more realistic of the proper value. Let's go to the 6 Ivar. There's an Ivar. Yes, Ivar. Yes. There we go.
Oh, you're batting at about 500 right now.
Yeah, that's a little higher than
good
usual.
batting average.
This horse is finally running a third time in a row instead of having all these layoffs. I think this horse is going to be ready to go. I don't think the horse can beat Modern Games, but I think at the nice price, at around the 15 to 1 shot, certainly can complete the try. This horse used to be a real world beater a little while back. Maybe not where he used to be, but I think you have to use that one. Let's go to the 11 as my 3rd selection in here. Beat a few of these horses here at the distance. Morning line 10 to 1. And simply likes to win. You don't want to leave horses at that you can't leave them out when they just simply win. Every time you think they're not going to win again, they win again. So for me, it's all about modern games and then the rest, but let's go 4, 6, 11.
Yeah, I'm with you with modern games. The North American starts have been absolutely brilliant. That Woodbine race, watch that replay, and you're going to know who modern games is.
Yeah.
Bent in half, and then just absolutely cruises to victory by 5. Watch last year's race, and it was the same result. The horse was the winner watching throughout the race. And I just think it's going to be a perfect setup. Smooth like straight, going to the front, as it always does. You're going to have the chasers in there. And I think Modern Games is a big rallier. Another horse that I like at a bit of a price, number 1, Pogo. Went to the front last time out, ended up going wire to wire. But 2 outs ago, this horse sat just off of it, made the lead, ended up getting tired. But I think the big key about this horse, again, that inside draw is going to be so helpful in getting position where the other horses are going to have to hustle to get up to get to the lead. Pogo just gets out of the gate and is fast, will be right there all on its own. The mile, a little bit farther than it's been going lately as it's been going a bunch of 7 furlong races, but the mile races before weren't bad in the 5-year-old campaign. Not good enough to win, but I think this horse is getting better. So I think it is a great long shot. And I also threw in number 14, Domestic Spending. Yeah, people are going to lay off this horse because it hasn't started in 2022. But look at last year. The horse started 3 times, 2 wins in a second, narrowly denied at Arlington. The horse is a runner, plain and simple, loves winning, has won 6 out of the 8 starts. You got Chad Brown, who is a great conditioner that can bring a horse into a race to win. A lot of these trainers are, but Chad Brown, he is a master. So don't expect this to be any kind of prep race where they're in there just to get some money. They are going for the win. Post position doesn't help. That's why it's my 3rd selection. I could definitely move this horse up, but post 14, I can't. So I'm going to give you 4, 1, and 14. Now we're going to carry on to race number 9. It's the Breeders' Cup Distaff. They're going to go 1 mile and an 1/8. Last year's winner, do you remember, Stretch?
No, actually.
March Lorraine.
I had that one.
Oh, yeah, at 50 to 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an easy one last
Yeah.
year. I had that as about my 15th pick, and yeah, I didn't do any good. But Stretch, who do you like in this
All
one?
right, here we go. I think it's a bit of a match race between a couple of the horses in here, the 1 and the 6. Interesting how both Kirt and I are trying to beat the horses. What do you think? $5, $4 on Nest?
$5 for $4.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Ness is going to take all the money in here.
Okay, so that's fair. Anyway, I'm going to try to beat her with the 1. I've got this horse figures really good. I like that last couple races. She's just looked so good. I think a couple of her races at Keeneland have been very good, and like the last one was at Keeneland. She's also coming back quicker, only a month, so I think that's only going to help her. Usually she's got longer layoffs in between at times, and so that's why I'm going to it'll be just less than a month. Should get that nice rail trip, and then I like when she makes that move. Jockey's just going to wait, make that move, kind of take over. And then my second choice is the 6. You can't leave this horse out. Well, you could leave the horse out.
Yeah, you could, but I think you'd be losing a lot.
Yeah, so it's one of those. Obviously deserves to be the favorite. Also has won at Keeneland. You also have to recognize that last race was 5 cents on the dollar. So there's just kind of a paid workout. Obviously she can win. You can't, like I said, leave her out. I'll go to a horse that maybe could move up, maybe sneak in the exactor, and that's the 7. The only reason I didn't put the 7 in second or even try to upset is because it missed kind of missed a start. That extra month layoff. I think you need to be sharp and have the stamina to beat these. But 2 back that monster race, best of her lifetime. She runs that. She's certainly in the mix. Will she? We'll find out. But 1, 6, and 7.
Yeah, myself, I'm going to try and get Ness beat too. It's not going to be easy, but I went to number 8, Society. There's one thing that's lacking in this race, and that is early pace. And Society 6 starts, 5 wins. The only defeat, lost by 17 to Secret Oath, and Nest ended up winning by 12 lengths that day. But I ended up watching the replay on it, and the horse false broke. So what that means is it tried to time it. The gates were closed, so smashed its face against the gate. Then it opened. The horse went to the lead and then backed right up. The jockey just pretty well sat there and coasted on in. But I'm a big believer in horses that, especially young horses, they get trouble in the gate, throw the race right out when it's a bad one. If they've showed promise before that, I expect them to do good in their next start. And look what happened. Easily won by 6. Yes, it was a grade 3 coming out of a grade 1, but then got even better in the next start and easily dusted them by 5. I think this horse now, if it doesn't get a bad break, of course, goes right out to the front end. Nest will be in a stalking position. And it just, when is Nest going to make the move? If it makes the move early, it goes against society. But I think this horse is naturally fast, loves it all alone on the front end. So I'm giving it a big shot to win. Nest is my second choice. This is the horse to beat. There's nothing this horse has done wrong. 7 wins, 10 starts, sits close to the pace where there's a paceless race. So the horse is the one to beat, but I'm putting it in second. And my third choice, I did go to Clarier. This horse ran big 2 and 3 outs ago. Both of them winning efforts last time out. Fractious in the gate. Ran absolutely terrible. Crossed that right out. Yes, I could have took the 1, but had beat the 1 a couple of times rather convincingly. So with throwing that race out, I'm going back to it. So I'm going to give you 8, 6, and 4. Now we're going to carry on to race number 10. It's a Breeders' Cup Turf. They're going to go 1.5 miles. A long way to go. Last year's winner, Yabir, at 8-1. There's a girl and a 3-year-old in this field.
Stretch. Yes. So he tells that. He uses my notes. He uses my picks. He takes the 4.
Oh.
That I'll go first. So
okay.
Then I'll go first at 12-1. Here we go. A couple things here. Europeans do dominate this race. A couple stats you may want to use on a try. Aidan O'Brien has had a horse hit the top 3 the last 5 years, including 3 wins. So there's a horse. Better take note of his horses in there to not leave out there. Just like the Turf Mile, being on the front end is not really where you want to be, and so it's a race I find tough to select a strong opinion. But I do like the trends on the Broom. Let's go Broom today. And I just like, sure enough, as I said, Aidan O'Brien right there. Was the favorite at the grade 1 at Saratoga this year, actually. And so, yes, didn't win, but was closing. So you're touted that much. And so some people are going to be bitter. These are the best ones. When a favorite gets beat, they leave it completely off, and then you get the huge value. That's what I'm hoping. All the people that lost money on that horse will maybe leave it, and we'll get that 12-1. Got to use in the sequence bets for sure. Then I'll go to the 2, Warlike Goddess. This horse simply wins races. 5 for 5 at the distance, 2 for 2 at Keeneland. Right running style. Crushed the boys last time. Why not again? If we know the horse likes the track, I've seen this horse run so many times. Just that turn of foot, just the horse I can't leave out. And then the 11 could have easily been one of my top selection in here. I'm kind of going to box my top 3. A key trend ran in the Arc and then comes to the Breeders. Wasn't a top effort in the Arc, but I'm going to just throw that out. The other ones, this horse is absolutely right there. 4-2-11 with a few more in the sequence, but that's where we'll go, 4-11.
Yeah, I'm with you on the 4. Those 2 races last year, running second in the Breeders, and then running that good 4th place finish last time, and was coming like an absolute freight train at 1.25 miles, gets the 1.5 miles today. So that is going to definitely help this horse. I like the rider too. You get Irad Ortiz, not a bad thing to get in here. He kind of wins the odd race or 2, and I expect this horse to be absolutely flying at the end. Also in there, I do like the 7 horse, That's Nation's Pride. This horse always looked like the winner last time out. Sat in third at the head of the lane, moved from the inside to the outside, went on by, and another one where the jockey kind of posed and made it look like he did something inside the final 16th. But the horse made every winning move in the last two starts. I like that it sits close to the pace. It is stepping up a little bit. Last time was the first time at a mile and a half, or the second time at a mile and a half, and just looks so good doing it. The numbers say the horse does fit in, sits close, ready to pounce. That same race as last time. I think the horse has a big shot in here. And I also like number 11, Mischief. Mischief was having a great season up until this year. This year hasn't been so good. $500,000 in earnings, yet to hit the win column. Has a couple seconds and a third. Last year, 3 wins, 14 million. But Mischief, if you look at that race 3 outs ago, that Baid, that horse is 10 for 10 and did win that race by 6 lengths. But Mischief was easily second best. And I loved the running style, sitting about 4 lengths off it, taking the lead. And then the big monster comes blowing on by, but wasn't giving anything away to any of the other horses. So Mischief, even blinkers on today. I'm going to put it as a long shot. So I'm taking 4, 7, and 11. Now on to race number 11, our final Breeders' Cup race of the evening. It's the classic, 1.25 miles. This race was won last year by Nick's Go, 3-1, wire to wire. But there's a little interesting horse in this one, Stretch.
Yes.
Might be the 4-horse.
Might be the 4-horse. What a great way to end off the Breeders' Cup. You don't get to see these type of horses come around too often. Basically, we know Flightline will be the big favorite. Some people are just going to try and beat this because they refuse. Maybe they've lost. They keep betting against, hoping them to lose. Hoping is not really a good betting angle.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
I'm going to be cheering because I want to see a superstar, you could say. I think he easily can crush the field in here. And just see, if you watch his last race, just crazy how good that was. Sure, some maybe not the top stake horses in that last race, but you won by 19. He won by 19 in a stake race. And so...
And easily.
Easily is right. You watch how it geared down. Could have won by many more. Basically, obviously, the 1.25 miles is not going to matter. I think the 2 is going to go to the lead. It's just a matter of if the 4 can stalk, which I think the horse certainly can stalk if needed, and then basically take over from there. I came up with my second selection because I think that the 2 and 4 are going to battle it out. And then the 4 puts the 2 away, 6 comes late. I guess if it's too big of a battle, maybe Epicenter can make the upset. He's just got a perfect racing formation, and basically another good place bet for me. This would be another place that I'd be betting the 6 there because it doesn't matter with his running style. And then the last one, I will go to the 2 because in case just gets the lead and then the 4 comes later, the 2 can hang around. So it's a great race to end it, 4-6-2.
Wow, what a race this is. I got the benefit of watching that workout of Flightline, and I used to be the clocker here, so I watched a lot of workouts. When he was galloping, I thought he was galloping. I didn't even think he was breezing the 5 furlongs. That went in a minute, but then galloped out in 1:11 for the 6 furlongs. If I was doing it visually without a stopwatch, and I've watched a lot of workouts, I was going, looked okay, about 102, 103. And then it was that minute, but the gallop out, when the jockey just stands up, lets the horse do what it wants, it went down there in 11. And those are superstars. I watched a horse early in my days clocking here, going to Maui, working 110 and change, worked the 5/8, actually worked around the turn 6 furlongs, and went in 110 and change, came back, won the stake at like $16. But that was so much different than this workout. This one was sweet. I've never seen a horse move like that, look like it's going nowhere and doing it fast. This is a special horse. I think it sits right behind Life is Good. they're going to engage after about 6 furlongs, and then the race is going to be on, and then we're going to see if there's another Secretariat brewing. But I think this horse is every part of being a champion. Also, I like Epicenter just like Stretch does, because if that happens, life is good. If it gets collared, it's never been collared, always loose leads, and all of a sudden the work begins. And what happens when a jockey sees the other horse pulling away in front? Well, his heart and the horse's heart usually go out the back door. So I think Epicenter is going to come with that big late rally. His defeats were to early voting and Rich Strike in the Derby, but since then has rebounded with 2 really nice wins and sitting 4th. That's the key, sitting right in behind the speed, pick up the pieces. So that's why he's my second play. And Rich Strike, the Derby winner. Good race last time out, losing a Hot Rod Charlie. But he might be the one that sits way back and says, okay, you guys did all the work out front, had the early battle. There was a pace battle in behind, and he just picks up the pieces for third. I'm going to give you 4, 6, and 8 in the Classic. Okay, Stretch, race number 3. What's your bets?
Okay, so let's go with starting off smooth. It's a big Saturday. $3 exacta box, 7, 8, and 11.
Yeah, I'm swinging for fences again.
Of course you are. Why wouldn't you?
Come on, all or nothing. Let's start out with the little pick 5. I'm going to take 5, 7, 8 with 6, 8 with 3, 5, 7 and with 3, 4. Round it out with the key of the 9. That's going to cost $36. All right, Stretch, race number 4. What's your bets?
Okay, you got a key throughout the day.
Look at you spending money early on.
Early on, yeah. Let's hopefully the Friday was good. Okay, a $1 pick 4 wheel, singling the 8, taking a chance, hitting the all button, and then 3, 4, and 11, and then 6 and 9 in the last leg, $66.
And myself, I'm a little bit of a spread race here. So I'm going to box 5 horses in the exactor. 1, 4, 6, 8, 11. This is a fun bet to make in Breeders' Cup. You can throw in some long shots, take all closers, all speed, whatever way you go. But for a $1 exactor box, that'll be $20. Okay, Stretch, race number 5. What are your bets?
Okay, I'm adjusting. I played the pick 4 in the previous race, and now the pick 3. Added a few more horses and then singled. So 1, 3, 5, 6, and 7 with 3, 4, 9, 11, 12, being the 9 in the last.
And myself, I'm doing kind of a little saver here as I got a pick 5 and both pick 5s going with Jackie's Warrior keyed. So I thought I'd throw one in the mix there. I'm going to do a $1 pick 3. I'm keying the 5, then hitting the all button to make sure I get to the last leg. I'm going to add a couple with Jackie's Warrior. I'm going to take 4, 5, and 9. A $1 pick 3, $36. All right, Stretch, on to race number 6. What do you got?
Okay, so normally it's a $3. I like this exactor box quite a bit. So in fact, it's actually 3, 4, and 11. $5 exactor box is actually $30, and so or a $1 is 6.
All right, myself, as you can tell, don't really like this race a lot. I'm going to go for a show bet. Show bets in Breeders' Cup are always good, as you can get $14 show prices on long shots. I'm going to go 20 to show on the 10. On to race number 7, Stretch. What are your bets?
Okay,
pick
so
5.
Pick
time.
5, both pick 5, and these are really good tickets. If you have a group, you may want to play both of our tickets because you just kind of see it. I like it. I'm playing mine for sure, and I will probably take Kurt's just because I don't want to let him be the only winner.
Oh, come on.
6 and 9 in the first, keying the 4, then 1, 6, hitting the all, and then bringing it home with Flightline.
And myself, I'm taking just the 9. Then I'm hitting the all button in the second leg. And I'm taking 6 and 8, and the 4 and 7. And then just keying the 4 Flightline. That'll cost $56. On to race number 8, Stretch. What are your bets?
Okay, well, finishing it out with pick 4. I do like the pick 4 sequence and even the pick 5. I'm playing a few tickets, but this is the one I'm going to post. 3, 4, 6, 11 with 1, 6, 7. Then my top selections there is 2, 4, 5, 10, 11. And then, of course, Flight Line. A reason I took more horses in the pick 4, I singled the 4, and I have to have a win bet just in case because I do like modern games.
Yeah, so do I, but I'm going to add a few in there. I'm going 1, 4, 14, and then 6 and 8, then the 4 and 7. And I'm going to take 2 horses in the last 4 and 6. I'm going to try and get it on the cheap. I'm only spending $24. Okay, Stretch, on to race number 9. What do you bet?
All right, here we go. Here's one of my place bets. I could have posted a few other ones, but I really like this as a place bet, even though Kirt doesn't have it in his selections.
Nope.
He's going to be borrowing money for the last couple races.
I got lots of friends.
All right, 100 place one.
All right, myself, I'm going a simple one. 20 to win on the 8th. All right, Stretch, race number 10. What are your bets?
All right, a $3 exacta box, 2, 4, and 11. The 11 is the Bombs Away horse. May want to put a couple bucks there. Maybe a saver for you, Kirt, there. $18 is the box.
All right, myself, I'm going after the late daily double. Well, not the latest one, but the daily double from here, a $20 daily double, 4 and 4. All right, race number 11, Stretch. How are we ending out the breeders? What do you have?
Okay, so I'm hoping to have the pick 4 and pick 5 going to the 4. I've got to play a saver just because it'd be crushing if the 6 got up. So a $5 tri wheel, 4, 6 with 2, 4, 6 with 1, 2, 4, 6, and 8. That's $60. I close it out.
And myself, yes, I think Flightline is an absolute monster, but life is good. Gonna try and get it beaten here to run maybe 4th for the Super. So I'm gonna take the 4 on top with the 6-8 for second, with the 1-5-6-8, a $4 wheel. That'll cost $24. We'd like to say good luck to everybody and all their selections for all the Breeders' Cup races.